have a 3D printer going. I don't know if you can hear it. I hope you can't hear it.
No, but I'd be disappointed if you didn't have a 3D printer going.
What are you printing?
I'm printing these little, oh, you can't even see this now, but it's like a little angle bracket. I'm putting up permanent outdoor lighting that you can set for Christmas and Halloween and all sorts of stuff. And my barge boards on my house are at like 40 degrees and 24 degrees. So these things are only made to go on like 90 degrees. So I had to make 30 different angled brackets. And then I had to wait for PETG to come, which apparently isn't possible to get. So it's been a week.
I've got to say, that's what I love about 3D printing. You can make things to hack other things. It's brilliant.
I needed a coaster for my desk, and I know I have a coaster for my desk. It's the best thing ever. I love it.
Hey, so listen, I think we're live now, so I just want to say welcome to anyone that hasn't been here before. We are the Guitar Builders Collective, and we just rotate around who's here, but we are essentially a group of people that either build guitars for a living, or I think we all build guitars for fun. And I think we also all try to innovate with the guitars we build. So even if we're building a Strat, it's going to be different to what you'd expect Fender to make, right? Something about the wood choices, something about the design, something about the electronics. Something's going to do what we think makes the Strat either more unique or pushes it forward a bit. We always talk about how guitar companies are stuck in their historic ways, all of that, you know, won't want to innovate on what was around in the 60s. Why should we? That's tradition. And on that note, before we came on today, I was on YouTube and I was looking at the videos that are on my subscription feed to think about, is there something there to talk about? And of course, my subscription feed is all NAMM. Everything is NAMM. And it occurred to me, do I care about NAMM anymore? Because all I'm seeing is new versions of the same shit, basically. Excuse my language. And yeah, it's great, but I don't want to see a new Fender that is very much like the old Fender, but slightly different color combination. I want to see things that are unique and different. And I appreciate there's lots of that in NAMM, but my YouTube feed, because it's the first day, everyone's going for the heavy hitters of the big companies, I think. I think it's the first day anyway of NAMM. But anyway, what I did notice, and I can't find it, it might have been on my Instagram feed, I was just looking, I couldn't find it on my YouTube feed when I switched this computer, is Gibson have got a whole range of guitars that they're putting out that are one-offs. And they're all really unique and interesting designs. And that could be partly the paintwork, or there's innovative, interesting ways it's made. And what it felt like when I go onto my Instagram feed and look at all the boutique builders and the people that are building for fun and the people that are trying to do things that are different to the big companies and doing things that I think are really interesting. And it's like the big companies have stolen that from us. I feel like we don't look at those small companies, small builders, and appreciate their work. But now it's got a Gibson name on it. Not only will they appreciate it, but they'll probably pay a ridiculous amount for it.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of ridiculous amounts, one of them allegedly has $1 million price tag. It's some art guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, some of them were bloody amazing. Not jealous, but maybe a bit. And it's really, really annoying that I cannot find where I saw them. So in a minute, I'm going to let you two talk, and I'm going to see if I can find on Instagram to share.
Yeah, please do. I'd like to see them. I think I saw a glimpse of what you're talking about as well. But I didn't. When I saw them, I didn't know it was Gibson. I thought, oh, surely these are some kind of like one-off boutique builders, Les Pauls or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I think what's happening is that I mean, I may be wrong, but the custom shop builders are giving more free reign, like ESP used to do it quite a lot. They're being given more free reign to do something that's unique and different to get probably social media coverage. But maybe I'm wrong on that.
No, you're right. They have an in-house artist who does specific like art pieces at Gibson. He's like an in-house. I guess he's part of the custom shop, but he's like his own deal. Well, he'll do like total one-offs. But I don't know if this is the same guy that's probably building these that you saw.
There's a few artists I've seen, artists who are commissioned by by Fender on a regular basis. So I follow them. Wait a minute. I found one of them on the Gibson page. I can't find the others. So look, I'll share this one image and then I'll let you chat while I try and find more. But I'll try and describe what I remember seeing. It must have been a video, unless it was a reel.
It
Anyway,
was on
let's see.
Instagram, I think.
Really annoying because I was watching it on my phone earlier, and that's when I saw it. So this one, if you look at it, it's got that damn, I've forgotten the name of the word, like candy finish, where it's presumably, I think this is almost definitely sprayed silver first, and then the translucent colours are added on. And I've seen lots of people doing this technique, not on guitars, but on cars, like high-end custom car builds that are on the kind of over-the-top car panels that I sometimes put on. It is incredible to do on the car, and it's so cool seeing it transferred across to the guitar like that. I have seen people do things like this on guitar, but not quite to this intricacy level.
Yeah, so on the car scene, this kind of over-the-top paint jobs with these candy finishes and pearls that are crushed as well into the paint, they're hugely popular in the Latino car world in the US, and those paint jobs are incredible. But actually, what's really unique about them is a lot of the effects that you see, some of them are in the paint, so there is crushed glass, or what we call a pearl paint. But there is also flakes you can put into the clear coat, and you can shoot the clear coat with metallic flakes and reflective flakes in them as well to make that candy. So generally, when you see like a candy paint that looks like it's about to pop out from the car or the guitar, it's made up of multiple layers where they have inclusions of these flakes and pearls in them. The only downside of spraying clear with flakes in them is it's quite detrimental to your guns. So you need to have a gun that's just sitting there dedicated for doing this stuff, because if you pick up that same gun and you want to get a perfect clear coat the next time, you're not getting a perfect clear coat the next time. There's always going to be shit left in the gun, no matter how many times you flush it.
I have experienced exactly that, Owen, and it was very disappointing. But actually, the guitar that I sprayed that was meant to be clear but had a little bit of the glitter left in it, I feel it looked pretty cool. So I left it. But yeah, and actually, if for people that don't know, if you haven't met Owen before, Entropia Guitars, Owen used to do some car spraying as well. So he's got this knowledge. That's great. I mean, I like this. I don't know if it came across before that I was trying to slag off Gibson for doing it. They've done it really well. It's a shame that I think it's going to get loads of coverage in a way some of the smaller builders that have done things like this before won't do. Can I show you a couple of the others? So like this art one, to me, does not look original in any way at all, but it's super unique for a Gibson, right? I think it's super unique for a Gibson. But I might be missing things because I'm just seeing the photos. Maybe there's something about the way it's made. A lot of the things I saw had really like finishes from other things. So this looks to me like it's a leather finish, an embossed leather finish. And let's see if this one's got the. That looks like something I would have done. I'm not that. And this one as well, the sort of spacey sparkle finish. What they haven't got here, which I really liked, was they had one that looked like a traditional bone china with the blue finish that you might get.
I saw that one.
Yeah,
I saw that too. Yeah, beautiful.
I'll stop sharing and see if I can find it somewhere else. But so what it seemed like is it was an innovative thing where they'd taken techniques used on non-guitars and brought them across to use on guitars somehow.
Yeah, the porcelain thing has been done with stormtrooper helmets. If you've ever seen those, there was a guy who did like a series of stormtrooper helmets. I did the coolest porcelain one. I was looking at it going, that is so badass. I love it. Really cool.
And what I couldn't tell, like with that porcelain one, was because again I just saw it wherever I saw it. It was a brief clip, so hopefully we'll see more of it later. Is that it was it looked like it was actually ceramic. It wasn't painted to look like it was ceramic. It looked like it was actually done. So presumably that involves some collaboration with other people who have those skills and things. Oh, hi to everyone in the chat, by the way. Hi, Jimmy's just joined us. I was about to say hi, Guitar Builders Collective, but that's me typing. And Barry and Alan are there. That's fantastic. So, but what I wanted to get at for you two is, do you enjoy seeing NAMM stuff? And if you do, is it because you just like seeing new stuff, like new gear? Or is it because you find it in any way inspirational for your builds?
This is the first NAMM where I'm not interested in it at all. The first NAMM, because I told you this last time. I had an existential crisis about what value is, and do guitars even have value, and which guitars have value, and that's still kind of churning around my brain. And for the most part, 90% of the guitars out there, whether they're brand new or not, don't have value. And I'm trying to, and so that's why I'm kind of like viewing NAMM through this new lens of like, it's all just kind of like fluff, and those guitars are going to go nowhere. But the guitars that do go somewhere, those are the ones I'm interested in. Like usually, vintage guitars, et cetera, et cetera.
I've got mixed feelings on it. I couldn't care less about what Fender and Gibson bring out. I'm just like so apathetic to those guys because they've been riding the photocopier for the last 70 years. And who cares, right? It's like, oh, there's a new Strat this year. I think the worst one was like 5 years ago. They came up with the Strat, and it was like, we've done these finishes, and they were the laziest thing. It was like one just looked like an ice cream. It was like this yellow going into a red going into something. I looked at it and I thought, this is the laziest way to just keep the printing press of money going. And they just bring out the same guitar and change the paint and modify the pickups and maybe occasionally change the tuners, and it's what they do. And kudos to them for having a niche and sticking with it and making money and keeping everybody employed. But there's other parts of NAMM I do enjoy. I like seeing what people are bringing out in the other brands. Ibanez have done some crazy stuff this year. Everybody who's one of their top signature artists got refreshes on their signature instruments, which is nice. I like that a little bit. The effects stuff and the amp stuff really kind of attracts me. And I don't know if you've seen that new Quad Cortex, the teeny tiny one.
I love it.
Holy shit, I want to put it in a guitar. It's tiny. It's so small. But it kind of feels, it kind of feels like the keynotes from the phone companies every year going, we've made our best one yet, and it's smaller and it's thinner and all of that, like, all of that aside, where you pretend not to give a shit, it's really, really cute. It's the funkiest little pedal I've seen in a long time.
That's what stood out to me too. Like that's the only thing at NAMM that's like, I need to buy it. Like,
yeah,
I want one.
yeah, I want one too. Hey, Scott.
Scott's here.
Aloha.
Hey, hello, welcome.
Sorry for the exciting background.
That's great. Hold on. To see where all the action happens.
Let's make you full screen. No, I won't make you full screen so you can see it. What it's real life. You brought real life to a discussion of people talking hypothetical things that we can't own, that we see elsewhere.
That's what I'm here for.
You know what I am waiting for with NAMM though is usually like day 3, when all of the people who walk the floor with the cameras and do all the interviews with all the normal brands get bored and they toddle off. There's a boutique room now where all the smaller builders are, and they usually go and they meet all the smaller builders and see what they've got. So Andertons hopefully will do it again this year. They did it last year and they bumped into a bunch of lads who are making low volume stuff like we are. And there's some really interesting builders. There's a French guy, Paul Lerat. He makes these gorgeous basses, Stega basses. It's like a skeleton of a bass, really high-end materials, and the controls are on the side, not on the front. I think they're some of the prettiest ones I've seen. There is my buddy Bruno Bacci's there as well. He's got a new line of guitars that he's charging, new guitars, right? Designed in conjunction with an architect. Figure that out. They look like cigar box guitars with slight curves in them, and he's starting the bidding at 10 grand and going up from there.
Wow.
So nice work if you can get
wood
it.
choice again, because is that partly because of his wood choices? Because I remember you mentioned him before, and he has really unique the wormwood.
Yeah.
Him.
He had woodworm before, but he's finished with that now. And these do have really nice tone woods that are picked. But the pitch for the 10 grand asking price is that there was 10 years of development of them in tuning this hollow body electric and getting rid of resonant frequencies and stuff like that. And it's very weird. And I'm sure there's a lot of science behind it, but I'm like, it's a big chunk of change to ask. Hopefully it'll be a sellout. He's only doing 50 of them. And there was another builder who was Marek from Stradi Guitars. I don't know if you've seen that guy. So Stradi is this Polish guy, Marek Dombek, and he makes the most beautiful bass guitars you have ever seen. They look like classical instruments blended with a modern instrument, and he has the craziest customers. He has Jason Momoa as his bass player endorser, and like these are. If you want to see stunning finishes, have a look at his guitars. I've never seen anything like them. They're like oil paintings. They're incredible. So yeah, I'm hoping that Lee and Pete Honore will get bored in NAMM and wander over to the boutique spot again this year, because what those guys are doing is always interesting me. The mainstream guys, you kind of know what to expect from them. They're like, oh yeah, it's going to be a slightly different Ibanez Gem, it's going to be a slightly different Jackson. But I think a lot of the innovation goes on in the little room. I want to see what's in the little room.
I think you've hit the nail on the head for me, Owen, which is I looked through my feed on YouTube and it was all like the big companies today. And that's just what put me off. We were saying, Scott, just before you got on, that my YouTube feed's full of people going around NAMM filming Gibsons, and it was quite boring and uninspirational.
Yeah, they would be.
Exactly. There's potential, though, as Owen said, on future days.
It's very much a social event now as well, isn't it? It's all like everybody's getting pictures with everybody else and putting them up and going, hey, I've just met this person. Like my feed today has just been some people I know and other people I don't know all posting for pictures together. I didn't actually see any instruments or anybody playing instruments. It was just meet and greet and let's have our name tags all out together.
But that's kind of the point also, right? It's kind of like Disneyland for musicians. So like you might as well go. It's just a good time.
Yeah. I mean, like that's exactly what Owen and myself are doing in a month's time. We're going to a show in England, one of probably the biggest. Do you think it's the biggest show? It's the biggest show in England. And there's a group of us going just to hang out. Alan in the chat's coming.
Yeah.
We're
all staying in the same hotel. Paul is staying in the same hotel.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I'm with him.
Yeah. I'm planning to mess with him in a massive way. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. No, and I mean, none of us are exhibiting. We're just going to catch up and meet in real life. That's crazy. Meet in real life.
See, you can't fault all these musicians for going to NAMM and just taking pictures with each other. That's kind of the point, hang out.
Yeah, I'm very curious to know what people look like in 3D.
You can't ever see my back. It's just not possible. You walk around and I just follow you.
Joking aside, I think that the NAMM stuff is probably going to take a few days to trickle out because it's really everybody's just bombarding everybody with press announcements, and it's hard for all the media outlets to actually sift through them and go through all the crap and find the gold. So I think there'll be some nice stuff there, but I'll have to be a bit more patient with what's being fed to us.
So I used to listen to a podcast, or a few podcasts, where comedians interview each other, and they always talked about the fact they hated it when people asked them, how do you write your jokes? Where do your ideas come from? Things like that. But I find it interesting. And I find it interesting knowing where does our inspiration come from? I mean, clearly not NAMM, but from what I was saying, that third day, that boutique room could be the place for it.
Actually, that's really interesting because, we talked before about doing. Remember, we talked about that really dark black 4 paint and Vanta Black and doing a guitar in it, and then we figured out it probably wasn't possible because it was a fingerprint magnet. I did see one guitar in NAMM that has done it with a different material. I'm so curious about it. So I've spent probably 2 hours in an internet dark hole looking for the material and finding out about it, and I think I found it. I'm not going to share it with you fuckers because if I do, one of you will go and buy it and build it before me, but I have samples coming, and I'm really excited to see if it is what I think it is. But yeah, it's cool to see a guitar where you're looking at the shape going, my mind actually can't process it because there's probably less than 1% of light reflecting back. It's a trip, and I need to do it. I have to get it out of my head, so I have to do it.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes you get those ideas that just kind of a seed in your mind and they keep growing and you just can't think of anything else until you get it out of your head. And sometimes those ideas are terrible, sometimes they're okay. But in any case, like 90% of my ideas are just like stupid, but I got to do them.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am.
I have the problem where I have ideas, I have too many ideas to do, so I start lots of them, never finish any of them, because I always regret the one I haven't started, because that could have been the one. It's quite hard for me anyway, as a person, to finish things, I think. I've used these Culture Hustle Black. I forgot what it's called. The black is black. And it's just not good for a finish that's got good wear on it. Looks great, but it's not just the fingerprints; it just chips and breaks.
And the second you put anything on it to protect it, like any sort of coating, that's just going to enhance the reflectivity of it, which is going to ruin the idea. So yeah, I'm trying to find the solution for that. I think this might work, but I'm. And then the worst part was the price of the samples, right? So the samples each were like, for a 5 centimeter square of what this mystery material is that I'm not going to tell you about, it cost me, I think, about 18 euros each, and there's 2 different versions. And then the shipping was another, like, so I spent on 2 5 centimeter samples something like 70 euros to get the samples over, and it might be a waste of money, but sure, we'll find out, like, and it might be good.
Without like giving away any spoilers, Owen, like, wasn't the original crazy black paint, wasn't that composed like of nanotubes where the light goes in the tube and it just can't bounce around anywhere else? Is it kind of a similar technology?
Yeah, I think it's something like that, just not in a paint substrate. So I think it's something very similar. But yeah, that was the science behind it, is that it just trapped everything and there was nothing able to reflect and refract and get out. So yeah, it's really, yeah, I just can't get away from it, and I need to do it. And even if it's rubbish and I throw it in the bin afterwards, at least we've given it a go.
Yeah.
Until somebody else comes on with a product and I have to do it a second time, and that's crap, and I have to throw that out as well.
So we haven't had Owen. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say we haven't had Owen and Scott on for a while, so it's great that you're both here. We haven't
I've been doing crap in the background. I like, for anybody who's been following me on Instagram, I've been back recording, which is nice. So I'm hoping to publish a video this weekend, all going well. And I have 2 weeks off I have to take from work, or I will lose the 2 weeks off before the 31st of March. So I'm going to spend a week in February trying to do as much as I can in the workshop and get most of this guitar done. I'm nearly finished the neck. I'll have the neck finished next week, hopefully. And then for that week off, I need to figure out the Floyd Rose and pickups and everything else. The problem with the pickups is they're so thick. So I'm putting in Fishman Fluence pickups, which I discovered are enormous. Like, in terms of depth, you need to have like an inch of a cavity. And then if you're putting an inch of a cavity into a guitar to put the pickups in, and you're putting a Floyd Rose underneath, there's not much meat between the Floyd Rose cavity and the thing. So my body's 6 centimeters thick at the moment. And then I discovered my Floyd Rose block wasn't long enough to go down through the cavity. So to go off and buy a Floyd Rose block that was bigger, and I hope it fits the Floyd Rose. So there's all of these things I have to figure out. And the more I've been talking to people who've been really helpful, Neil's been really helpful in the chat, and Todd over in Sweet Tea's been really helpful as well. I have some Floyd Rose templates, but I'm going to have to make a dummy body to figure it out. I'm going to have to just get some cheap pine and glue it into a blank and just, be okay to waste time and route away in that and see does everything fit before I go and commit to doing it on the main body.
Have you ever
so many moving pieces?
Have you ever routed Floyd Rose?
No, I built one guitar.
Okay, sorry. Because there's so much. I hate the Floyd. The Floyd Rose geometry is so far out. There's all these different levels and steps. It's like, I don't get it. Like, someone needs to simplify that. Just simplify it.
Yeah. I know, Neil, you're saying in the chat there, just that I don't, the pickups won't sit flush with the top. This is with the pickups not sitting flush at the top. These pickups are absolutely enormous, because under the pickup, there's a PCB and there's like a pin out connector that you put a ribbon cable into and everything. So the Fluence ones, I was chatting to Daniel over in Unquender Guitar, because he uses Fluences all the time. And he was saying that they need enormous cavities for them to fit in. So I think it'll work because he does it, but it's just me figuring it out and committing to it.
I'm going to 3D print some Floyd Rose templates soon. I'll just share my screen a minute. I have these from last time I made a Floyd Rose. I've got this little bit, this bit. I can't even remember what that is, but that seems to be part of it. That I used all of these templates just to route a Floyd Rose.
It's crazy, and there's no symmetry either. Like if you think about the center line, everything's off center like this, everything, and there's the geometry's all stacked. It's like the stupidest like thing ever, but I get it, right? The Floyd Rose is really awesome. Just someone needs to simplify it. Someone needs to make it better.
Well, there are really great versions of it out there, or you know, not quite a Floyd Rose, but does as good or better job of a Floyd Rose and fits better. And I'm like trying to convince people. Someone just that Dimebag guitar I just painted. They want to upgrade the Floyd on that because it's not a very good bridge that's on it, and they want it to be like Dimebag has. I'm just trying to convince them that maybe you should just look at different make, but then it's not like he has.
Right.
They want to be, so that's fair enough. There's a reason they want it to be like his one. But if they wanted it to just play better, I think there's some other options out there. But I don't know. Just quickly before I ask Scott how he's doing, this I haven't got a link. I can't put a link up because it's too complicated. I'll put it in the video description later. That's the Facebook group. Owen's been sharing images of his build on the Facebook group. So the Facebook group, Guitar Builders Collective, people share what they've been building. It's a great place to get a bit of feedback, get some support, get some help. So do go out.
And now we have the splitter group.
What?
That's the Jörg's Cup group.
Oh, is that a separate Facebook page now?
Yeah, so people are still posting Jörg's stuff, Jörg's Cup stuff in the main group, but there's also a dedicated Jörg's Cup group as well. Corey set it up there a little while back. So if anybody is doing hollow bodies or chambers or anything like that, it'd be cool to see you guys just throw your work in for the mix.
I've already designed my Jörg's Cup guitar. It's like the design's done. I know that the theme is like hollow body, right? Isn't the theme like hollow body? Okay, so I'm not
hollow bodied or chambered.
Chamber. So I'm not doing a hollow body. I'm doing a hollow neck.
Oh, nice!
Whoa!
Yeah. I have to find the link then and put that in. I'd missed that somehow. I'll put that in the description, and then we can maybe we need to do another catch up when that's over to see what people do and see if we can get Corey back on. It's just hard with his time zone being so different.
That hollow neck sounds insane.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Can you give away any trade secrets now, or is it?
I mean, anybody who's like kind of followed my stuff has seen me do something similar, but the idea was I thought it would be cool. Like if you held a guitar like this, you could see through it from like the end pin, like the strap button, all the way to the headstock. I thought it'd be cool if you could see through it that way. And so far, I've gone away from that design, but I could still build that way. But it's gonna have a hollow neck
with a truss rod.
No truss rod. I've built like 4 guitars without truss rods. You don't need a truss rod unless you want to add relief, right? The only thing a truss rod is for adding relief, because there's material out there that'll be straight as an arrow, and the strings won't have any impact on it. That material exists.
Yep. Hey Scott, so I know it's a way off, but have you had any thoughts about what you want to be building in the future for 2026? What's your aim?
I still got a project that's sitting on the bench waiting for me to do something with it. Realistically, it's been close to 2 years since I did any actual building.
Has it been that long? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a whole story. Does anybody remember way back when in the GBC chat there was Ty had gotten a hold of me and told me that there was a guy that was interested in building that had been messaging him and asking him questions, and come to find out he's in Lubbock. So he was like, dude, you realize Bonehead's in Lubbock, right? So he got us in touch, and I mean, it didn't sound like super fun to have some, new guy who knows nothing in the shop, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've been preaching all this time that building is, medicine for the soul, and anything you can do to help people get into it would be a good thing. So I thought, I got to put my money where my mouth is. This poor guy, he was a nice guy, but he was also kind of annoying. But it's funny. You don't realize how far you have come in your craft. I would put this guy on some simple task, and within seconds, I'm like, oh no, shit, I got to do that. Hold on. So he didn't get to do a whole lot of building, and this first project was a gift for his stepdad anyway. So I kind of built it while he was there to witness everything, and and it turned out to be a great thing for his stepdad. Then he wanted this thing built, and I know there were some pictures on Instagram, not completion, but getting there. It was a cross between an Iceman and an Explorer, and I was calling it the Arctic Explorer. Okay, so he wanted this thing built specifically for him, and it was a 7-string, I think, and I worked on it, and I would snow plow it to do something else. I think it got side benched for the last Great Guitar Build Off even. So it was kind of a long running project, and we were slowly getting close to the end, and I hadn't heard from him real often. And once in a while I'd send him a message, say, dude, I'm still working on this. It's life's crazy. We'll get there. And he'd say, no worries. It's, whatever. Okay, so the last time I did, I finally decided, all right, I need to get in the shop. I need to get this thing put together, get this finished, get it off my bench. I think maybe this is what's blocking me from working on other things. And I ran into a little, design decision question, and I shot him a text, and I didn't hear back from him for like a week. So I texted him again the next weekend, and I still didn't hear from him. And I'm like, did he get mad at me? I mean, I kind of know where he lives. It's a little ways off. I don't want to drive all the way out there if, he's going to throw rocks at me or something, and I kind of forgotten about it. And a few months later, I get a phone call from his wife, find out that he had committed suicide some time ago.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So he had planned on paying me for this guitar, and he never did. But he had supplied all the hardware, all the material, and everything. So I wasn't out any money on the thing. So she asked if I was going to finish it, if she could have it for, because it was something that he was. And I was like, absolutely. I need to get back in the shop and actually finish that thing because it's really close. There's some wiring and some stuff. I need to get that finished and off the bench and get it, delivered to her and wrap that whole thing up. So it's been kind of hard to get in the shop, and with for the last year in the new living situation and stepkids, life, and life has just gotten bleh. So honestly, I don't know. Sometime very soon, I need to get my butt in the shop and finish that project for his wife and get it delivered to her, and hopefully that'll give me the bug to start doing some. At least do a little bit once a week. Make a little bit of progress somewhere.
I mean, I appreciate that's a really sad and unfortunate story, but when you were halfway through it, I do remember how much you used to say you don't want to build for other people, really. You want to build for yourself, and how that can, not ruin the pleasure of building, but make it a different experience.
Well, see, the few times that I have done it, it's a situation where I really have kind of free reign over things. And this guy was this way too. He wasn't, I wasn't really stymied in what I wanted to do in doing this project. It was just, honestly, I don't know what the block was. It was, all right, so for one thing, the headstock has a very thin little spot, and one of the tuner holes is like right in the middle of it. And there's just, And all this time I'm like, it'll be fine. There's no problem. And the closer I get to putting strings on it, the more I'm imagining this thing just exploding. I've got a backup plan if that actually happens, but I've been a little scared to actually put strings on it and see what happens. So, but like I said, it's almost done. Finish is pretty much done. It was an oil finish. Hardware is mostly fitted. There was a kill switch he wanted way the hell up on the top horn, and trying to get wires routed. That wire wasn't long enough, and one of them actually tore. So I got to do some splicing there. But I mean, the thing is close. But it was a sad story. And talking to her, she was a really nice lady. I'd only met her a couple times, but I guess I didn't see it. But I guess he was bipolar, and so I'd gotten the impression that he tends to like collect hobbies. One of those people that gets really super gung ho into this, and then disappears from it, for a while, and then gets really into it again. And I guess that was kind of part of his manic phase. So. Real sad story, but I feel like I need to finish that up for her, and relatively soon. And I felt bad that it had been months, and I started to wonder, but I just didn't know.
Yeah, well, you never know. You never know what's going on with someone else. They could have been doing something that was really productive and different, and that's why they've been in touch.
Yeah.
It's hard
he had a good job with an oil company that kept him really busy. It got to where I would message him on the weekends and I'm going to be in the shop if you want to come by, and he'd be like, I'm at work until next Wednesday, so so it seemed like everything was going well for him, but looks can be deceiving, I guess. So aren't you glad you asked? That nice big fat downer.
Well, it's important to know that these things happen. The biggest killer in this country of men under 50 is suicide. So it's a fact. In fact, Paul, we talked about Paul from Mile House Studios earlier, but I know some of the charity work he's done has been for charities that are connected to suicide prevention for men and men's health.
Yeah, he's raised like 50 or 60,000 pounds last year with all the raffles. It's huge.
Absolute bonkers, isn't it? It's incredible.
Yeah.
I joked, but not really, that he should get an OBE for it.
It's interesting that that's the statistic about the number of deaths in the UK being from mental health issues, because for the longest time we were the cause of deaths for people in the UK under 50, plus good old Irish people. Hey, I'm joking. That's a slight play on the old Northern Ireland terrorist troubles we used to have.
Hey, I've been watching Derry Girls. I'm quite enjoying that. But anyway, you know Derry Girls.
Everything I know about Irish culture comes from Derry Girls.
Okay.
Well, your next watch should be Father Ted, because that's like a documentary on so many things. I made a bunch of these. I made a load of chopping boards. I think you guys might have seen those before. So basically, just taking the woodworking templates for guitars. So I did some Telecasters and I did some Les Pauls and stuff, and I put them up for sale. And they all sold out, every single one of them. So I can't actually make them quick enough, because I have another bunch, like 10 people who want them. And I took the money and I bought myself a CNC, which is cool. So I got myself, I fell into, like, I'm pretty sure I'm on some sort of spectrum, because when I decided to get a CNC, I just locked into research for like 2 weeks and couldn't get back out of it, and had to learn everything I needed to learn about the machine. So I ended up with one that has ball screws and linear rails and closed loop stepper motors, because they report back a more accurate position to the controller. And it's 80 centimeters wide and 40 deep, so that should be big enough for most necks and most bodies and stuff like that. So I'm forcing myself through the acquisition of crap to get back into the workshop and say, right, if I've got all this stuff, I have to go in and make it worthwhile. And I'm making some changes to my workshop. My workshop is a garage, so what I had to do was, anytime I was finished working, I had to put all the stuff away to one side of the workshop, because we drive electric cars. I had to bring the cars back into the garage where my charger is to charge up the cars overnight. Now, my car only needs to be charged once a week, so it's not the end of the world, but my other half's car's got a small battery. It's a city car, needed to be in all the time, so it stopped me from getting out there, because it used to take like 2 hours to set up, 2 hours to put everything away, and I was like, I don't want to be doing this. So I'm changing it, and I'm putting another charger outside the house, so I can leave the equipment set up, leave the camera set up, get in there more often. And that's my plan for this year, is just to have an actual space set up where I can come in from work, take an hour to decompress, and go in and cut some wood. Speaking of wood, I bought a lot of wood. So I bought a bunch.
I'm just stop you, Owen, before you carry on. I've got a quick question. Someone in the chat, Thomas, said, where can he get your chopping boards? Before we go on to the next topic. Are they in Etsy? Where are you selling them?
I'm in Ireland, so if you're in Ireland, I'll sort you out with one. But if you're anywhere else, it's probably logistically a nightmare to get it to you. And price-wise, it'll make no sense.
That's implied that you're not selling them on Etsy. You're literally walking around Ireland with them in a trolley. Where am I going to buy one?
Pretty much, it's a small community. People know people, and that I haven't had to advertise them online. And the musician community is pretty small as well. And as soon as I made one for one musician and they posted it, I had another bunch of musicians going, "Hey, I'd like one of those." And, you know, people's wives going, "Yeah, my husband would like that, or my son would like that." So it's been interesting. But yeah, so I'm really just finding ways to force myself to work. Is the simple answer. So
show us your wood. Show us your wood.
These and other sentences I did not expect to hear from my fellow builders. So I just got some fingerboards. These are Pau Ferro. They're quite nice. And then I have I've got a zebra wood, which is there.
Really nice.
And then I've got a Zero Coating, which is here, and I really like this one. I think that's stunning. And I've got a source of bog oak coming up as well. And if you haven't come across bog oak, Ireland's full of it because we've bogs, and the wood tends to be a couple of thousand years old, but just takes forever to dry out. And makes really cool instruments, but yeah, it takes forever to dry out. So I was in Switzerland on holidays, and then when I came back through France with the car, I stopped off at a wood suppliers in Albion in France called Jura, Jura Tone Wood, and they're lovely people. It's a husband and wife. The husband makes guitars. He makes archtop jazz guitars, and the wife runs the wood shop. And I picked up some. What's this? This is some ash, I think. Let me have a look at this. Yeah, this is some roasted ash, which is quite nice. So I got that, and God, I need to find desk space. Hang on. And this is some roasted apple.
Oh,
that's things. So that's a really unusual wood. That's apple. And there was another pile of apple there that I wanted to buy, but somebody had their name on it. And then I got a bunch of flamed maple tops that are just so pretty. Let me just have a look at this guy. So there's that. I really like that. And then one thing I got as well from them, which is quite an unusual wood. The rest are just variations in the maple, so I won't show you those. But I picked up this. So this is yew, Y-E-W. There we go. So yew is a really interesting wood because it's a native Irish hardwood, but it's in France as well. But I was hoping to build a guitar for a pretty famous Irish influencer / musician. So coming back to the whole Ireland being small, I'm friends with his mum. And I said to his mum, is there any chance I can build him a guitar? And she said, I'm sure he'd love that. And we had started chatting. And then what ended up happening was he got an endorsement with Loudon Guitars. So Loudon sent him down acoustics worth several €1,000, and he's kind of, doing a lot of promotional stuff for them. So the conversations came to a stop. But he's from a place called Mayo, spelled exactly like the conduit. It's a county in the west of Ireland, and in Irish it's Mayo, M-A-I-G-H-E-O, which translates to the valley of the yew trees. So I was like, well, he's from there. That's the name, the meaning of the name. I'll make him a guitar out of yew. And I still want to make the guitar out of yew, and then maybe he'll take it later, and if not, somebody else will take it. But it's just a lovely selection of wood. So I need to go and get a bunch of necks. I need to go and get a bunch of body blanks. But I want to just lock myself in the workshop, batch out a couple of bodies, batch out a couple of necks, and just do more than like my Les Paul. As much as I love it, has taken me a year because of everything that's going on. Very similar to Scott, life has gotten in the way. So I'm actively working on ways to get myself back into the workshop and get the obstacles out of the equation so that there's more time and more enthusiasm to get in there. I'm going to change the way I record my videos as well, because they're really being received well, but they're very time intensive. So my first set of videos is like tutorials on building. When that's done, I'm not going to do tutorials anymore. It'll just be the guitar being built and just work through it.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you don't, sometimes watching someone build is a tutorial itself.
Yeah, I think so. Like my whole thing was I wanted to encourage anybody who'd never built a guitar to give it a go. And I'm getting a lot of people messaging me over on Instagram kind of going, hey, found the channel, you know, I'm giving my first guitar a go, thanks a million. And I'm like, great, I'm like 2 steps ahead of you. So don't be expecting sage advice from the wisdom on the mountain. That's not me. But it's just showing people you can have a go at it, and you can turn out a pretty decent instrument. So I'm going to finish the Les Paul series the same way, kind of going through the tutorials and the step-by-steps. And then after that, I'm just going to switch to what a lot of guys do, which is just kind of a 20-minute short form video, start to finish, with a bit of narration, a bit of music. I think that's just easier for me, and it's more digestible for somebody who wants to watch it as well.
Yeah, I guess you need to make a decision. Do you want to make guitars, and do the videos take up too much time for making the guitars?
Yeah.
And if you want to make videos and guitars, then you need to find a way to balance them, don't you? I would say, Owen, what I see in you is what I see in my accounts from a couple of years ago, where all my income from guitars, or your income from chopping boards, went back into tools. And I've made myself a promise this year not to buy any new tools. If something breaks, I need to replace it. That's different. But I don't.
Are you sure about that? You sure about that?
Well,
I don't think that's going to happen.
I have to be sure about that.
It's
either that or eat or don't eat. Yeah.
Talking about building versus video editing, I have a dream of just having a giant sack of money fall in my lap. So, you ever watch Alex Steele, the metalworking? Yeah. He's making gobs of money apparently, or has gobs of money. I don't know, but he's always had somebody doing his videos for him, and they do a friggin' awesome job. That's been my dream, you know, have so much money you can just build an awesome workshop, do your thing, and let somebody else do the video for you.
I'm hoping that in 2 years' time, we'll just be able to take a dump out of our SD cards and throw it into AI, and AI will just make us compelling videos.
Yeah, I mean, nearly there.
That's not
nearly
far
there.
off.
Yeah, we're close to it. Yeah.
But if anyone wants to pay me, I can make videos for you. I can edit your videos for me. But
I want, my dream is to have an intern. I want an unpaid intern in the shop to do all the stuff I don't want to do.
Mark's in favor of bringing back slavery. Indentured servitude.
Well, for a good cause, though. I mean,
actually, speaking of YouTubers, right? There's a guy at work. We have a woodworking Slack channel. Slack is this instant messaging client we use at work, and there's a guy on the woodworking channel was showing off this house he's bought in the rural countryside in the US, and he's like, "Oh, it's got this cool place, and I'm going to finally have space for my woodworking projects." And there's a really interesting guy across the road. I think he does something about YouTube. I need to find out more about it. So everybody kind of went, "Cool." 2 days later, the guy comes back. The guy across the road is somebody called Michael Allen. He's got a small woodworking YouTube channel. Michael Allen has a huge woodworking YouTube channel. The guy is probably one of the most popular guys. And he's just, it's just by the stroke of luck moved in next to this guy who's got all this top-notch equipment and product endorsements and you name it.
Wow.
Stroke of luck right there.
Crazy.
Hey, I'm enjoying having 4 people on. It feels old school. I just want to put it out there that I know we don't put much effort into promoting this. It's just us coming on and chatting. And what's great is people that come in the chat that's happening along with the live stream and commenting later on seem to engage and seem to be regular. But our videos are getting hardly any views at all at the moment. So if you're enjoying it, you know someone that might want to watch it, share it with them. That'd be great. But like I said, I'm not putting time into doing it. A couple of years ago, when I was putting lots of time into the Guitar Builders Collective stream, it would be a day a week for it, and it just, I can't justify putting that in.
That's a lot of work.
Especially I'm putting a day a week in with the skills I've got, where it doesn't feed back to growing it and bringing in my income. Not that I want to bring in income, but I'd like to bring enough income to cover it. And speaking of which, I know this is a different channel. This isn't my channel. I've got my Devil and Sons YouTube channel as well. But I do want to thank the people that are my members over there, because they're the people that scrolling on the top here. They're the people who give me a little bit of money each month, and that little bit of money covers the streaming software that I use to put this on. So yeah, thank you all. I've been looking at YouTube does group streaming, so we could group stream through YouTube, but it seems to have less functionality. And I'm not clear yet, but I think, for example, if we did a group stream with the 4 of us on here, I think it would automatically stream to all 4 channels. Now, whereas I don't mind it streaming to this Guitar Builders Collective YouTube channel, you may not want it streaming to your channels. Because I definitely found when I started doing the live stream each week on my YouTube channel, it just crashed my channel completely. So like my views went down, my subscribers went down, everything went down, because it was just a whole different thing to what my channel was. So it's just confusing people, I think. So it'd be great to just do it through YouTube, but YouTube doesn't, I don't think, allows us to do it without you all having it hosted on your channel at the same time.
Most of my subscribers are probably wondering if I'm dead.
Well, hopefully they're all over here seeing you and saying, "Oh, there it is."
Yeah, they're all here, all 5 of them.
I'm one of them.
We should do some video from the guitar show at the end of Feb.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Wait a minute, we're there on a Friday night. Maybe I'll just live stream from my phone from the pub.
Please do that.
I take no accountability for anything I may say in advance of that happening.
Alan, who's coming, who I think is still in the chat, lives not too far from me, so we're going to carpool to go up there. So I think the amount of drink I imbibe over the weekend depends on if I'm driving or not. I don't want to put someone else at risk. So, not that
but if anybody is around,
I just mean if I drink a lot, I won't be able to drive home for a few days to recover.
If anybody is around in the UK at the end of February, yeah, you probably see us wandering the halls in Birmingham. Please feel free to catch up with us and chat.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll definitely have a feedback about it on here, and we can discuss what it was like. I'm intrigued because it seems to be, from what everyone I know who exhibits it says, very different to the sort of shows I've exhibited at, which are all one-day shows, not two-day shows, and are all shows that have a mix of boutique and bigger companies, but not big companies. If it's a bigger company, it's normally a shop that's exhibiting there, or it is a bigger company who happen to be local to where that show is. No one would travel.
I think we just lost your audio.
Oh, lost my audio. Is it back?
You're back.
It's back.
Yeah. Oh, so left-handed guitar just said, "Are we visiting or just hosting business there?" We're all visiting. Yeah, like I've said this before, I don't know if guitar shows are the right space for me. If you're interested in knowing if guitar shows are the right space and how they really work, we had Jason from Maybury Guitars is in our archive, so go and look at him. He talked quite heavily about why having a space to exhibit at guitar shows is really important for his business model and how it works for him. But yeah,
so there are 2 members of the group who are exhibiting there. Paul from Wild House Studios is got a stand there, and he's sharing it with James from the Yard Guitars.
Oh, they are. I didn't realise they had a stand. Oh no.
So we'll have 2 members of our little club there. Which should be nice.
Oh, is James going to be in the hotel as well then?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'll message them. Yeah, if you haven't seen, when you were talking about your hollow neck earlier, Mark, James from Yard Guitar says just made an acrylic neck. So it's got a wooden fingerboard, but it's an acrylic neck. It looks really smart.
You can see
It's not
through
the
it.
same. Yeah,
Right.
not the same at all. You can see it's got a truss rod.
Right.
What I like is yours is more like a magic neck. You can see it hasn't got a truss rod.
No trust rod.
Oh, are you going to be there? Left-handed guitars.
Great, cool. That'd be nice.
Right. On that note, it's 5 to 11 here. I'm going to quickly go into the video and put the links and stuff in and change the title to something probably not catchy enough to catch the algorithm and compete with NAMM show videos, but we'll see.
Just change it to Hot Sexy Girls Talk Guitar, and then, you know, just bait and switch.
There you go.
Bait and switch. That'll work.
Stay tuned to the end. Yeah. On that note, good night, everyone.
High class.
Take care.
Bye.